Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another watch list. This being a monthly TV guide for me to let you know what and when TV shows that I'm interested in, that maybe you're interested in, are coming out. Like always, in the description down below, I'll include any links to any trailers that might be available about anything that I bring up during this watch list. First up on the list, on July 3rd on Amazon Prime Video, we have Season 2 of Hanna. Obviously, I'm going into this not having yet seen Season 1. I haven't even seen the movie that obviously this is adapted from. But, you know, Season 2 is right around the corner, so, you know, might as well take this time to quickly watch Season 1 and, you know, to be caught up in time for Season 2. If I remember correctly, because it's been a while, and I have vague memories of what the plot is, but I think it's like, basically this girl was trained by this dude to be kind of almost like an assassin, but then she kind of has to go on the run, because I think it's like government officials are trying to capture her, if I remember correctly. So a little bit kind of has an element of that, kind of like the Bourne movies. It kind of has a little bit of feel like that, if I remember correctly. It's kind of one of those like action-y thrillers. So it always seemed interesting. Like I said, I've just never checked out either the movie nor Season 1, but this is the perfect opportunity, like I said, with Season 2 like literally right around the corner. So I'm interested to check it out, especially because I haven't seen the trailers, and obviously I'm not going to until I probably won't even watch it even when I do finish Season 1, but regardless. Next up, on July 12th on the channel Stars, we have this new series called P-Valley. It's just interesting, I guess, from what I was reading, it's kind of labeled as a crime drama. It's basically apparently focused around this strip club in Atlanta. It's like kind of like this, what would be the best way to kind of put it? It's basically like, oh, look at this like club, and you follow these specific strippers who, you know, while they're trying, I guess, make their living here and trying to find, like, it's kind of almost like this hierarchy, I think, at the strip club, and you're trying to obviously like make money while also kind of finding your place there. Well, all the while there's like heavily like dark like criminal activity happening there. If I had to compare it to anything, I don't know if anyone's familiar, but there was a movie, I want to say it was either the late 90s or early 2000s. I want to say it might have been like 2003. There's this movie called The Players Club. From the trailer I saw, it heavily reminds me of like The Players Club. Maybe darker. Granted, The Players Club was kind of fairly dark, you know, but it kind of had a similar feel to it, you know, so that's kind of like the best thing I can compare it to. On July 17th on Netflix, we had this new series called Cursed. Essentially, it's, you know, from the little bit I was reading, it seems like it's basically kind of like a very like retelling, but kind of like your very interesting take on the story of King Arthur, because basically you follow like a sorceress who basically helps Arthur on his journey, because he's trying to find apparently Merlin and what is essentially Excalibur, and basically finding her own destiny. I read something that I'm sure in the grand scheme of things is actually a spoiler, so I'm like, probably if you're well versed in like, you know, that King Arthur, you know, mythology and stuff like that, it wouldn't be, but like her name, I don't know if it's just specific, because who she is significant. Like I said, I'm not that familiar with Arthur, you know, the tale of Arthur and all that, so, but I mean, it just seems like a very interesting kind of like, very like fantasy show, just from the little bit I've seen, because I think there's only like a teaser trailer out. It kind of reminds me, it feels kind of like Merlin meets The Witcher, just like tone-wise and just like the aesthetic. It looks a little witchery, but also just obviously the concept of what it's about kind of reminds me of the TV show Merlin. So it seems very interesting. I plan to check it out. It's actually based on a illustrated novel of the same name that Frank Miller was a part of, so that's pretty dope. Also on that same day on Prime Video, we have Season 3 of Absentia. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Another show I've been meaning to check out, but I just haven't. But obviously Season 3, you know, is right there, so might as well take this time to watch Season 1 and Season 2. If I remember correctly, basically it follows this FBI agent played by Stana Katic, who I kind of know best for playing Kate Beckett on Castle. Essentially in this, she's like an FBI agent who I think was tracking a serial killer, but they ended up losing her memories, and I think this show is about her kind of piecing everything back together, kind of like following these puzzle pieces to kind of figure out how it all kind of comes together. I think because I've seen my mom watch a few episodes here and there, but I've like I said, I've seen bits and pieces, just the tiniest bit, so I don't know in the grand scheme of things what the full scope of the story is. And once again, this is season 3, and obviously this is dealing with whatever went down in season 2, so obviously I have even less idea. But I figured I'd take this time to go ahead and watch the first 2 seasons, and check the show out. On July 19th on TNT, we have The Alienist, The Angel of Darkness. I think it's kind of acts as kind of like a second season / sequel series to just, The Alienist. I could be mistaken, but if I remember correctly, it's kind of a period piece show, but if I remember correctly, I think it's about basically the birth of forensic investigations, if I remember correctly. Kind of how like Mindhunters is kind of like the beginning, like even though I haven't seen Mindhunters, I know what it's about. It's basically, that was the beginning of profiling. I think this is the beginning of like forensic evidence, and it's like, I want to say probably like the early 1900s. It might even be like the late 1800s, but it seemed like an interesting show, and it seems like this is kind of like, because that show was originally like a limited run, and I think this is supposed to be kind of like a season 2 / kind of a new series, or rather sequel series. I saw bits and pieces of the trailer. Obviously a lot of it's out of context because I haven't seen season 1, but it seems like an interesting show. Kind of a little bit of probably like a little bit of history with a little bit of like crime drama and a little bit of a period piece, kind of all wrapped in one. But regardless, it seems interesting. So I plan to go back and watch season 1, check out, see if it's something I'm really into, and then check out season 2 when it comes out. On July 26th on Sci-Fi, we have the 4th season of Wynonna Earp, which I'm super excited about, which apparently everyone's excited about, because obviously, like, if you're unaware, Wynonna Earp didn't air last year. I kind of took a year off. I don't know if there's particular reasons why. I haven't really looked into it. Regardless, new season's right around the corner. I'm going to have to rewatch season 3. I was going to do it regardless, but obviously I don't remember a lot of season 3. I remember bits and pieces. I remember a little bit about Waverly's soul situation with her dad, how that ended up being an awkward situation for Wynonna. No spoilers, but then like there's a whole like where Waverly and Doc end up, as well as, I think, kind of spoilers, if I remember correctly, like at the end of it, it's just Wynonna and Nedley. I think it's Nedley, right? Like I said, it's already been so long, I feel like I'm forgetting so much, but it's just Wynonna and him, because I think Jeremy and Hot both got kidnapped, along with, like I said, Doc and Waverly in their situation. But from what we saw in the trailers, it's if you love Wynonna Earp, it's just more of what you love. I'm curious to see how things really kind of get kicked off after everything with like how a lot went down last season. Let's not forget that. But once again, there is a lot I have forgotten. I remember bits and pieces. I'm curious, is her mom going to pop up? From what I remember in the trailer, there wasn't any hints of her mom, so I don't know if she's going to play any role this coming season or not. That might be something pushed for later on, or maybe I'll play some role later on in this season. But I'm also curious about Mercedes, because it seemed like they were setting Mercedes up to be a more recurring character. Will we see more of her? Because I can't remember if we saw her in the trailer or not. I've seen the trailer once all the way through, because I'm trying not to overanalyze it or anything. Regardless, I'm very excited to have Wynonna Earp back, and I'm really excited to see what kind of craziness ends up going down this season. And finally, on July 31st on Netflix, we have the 2nd season of The Umbrella Academy. I am so excited for this. Obviously, this is a great, like, misfit group of, this is like the best superhero dysfunctional family you'll find, in both the best and worst ways possible. And I think I'm so excited to see what happens with season 2. And once again, as someone who's never read the comic book that this is based off of, and the way season 1 ended on like a major cliffhanger, it's like, okay, not only do they have to deal with everything that went down in season 1's finale, but it's also the thing of the family wasn't on the best terms. Obviously, they had to, things were complicated at the end, so it's like you got to get over that hump as well, which they're kind of, I guess, working their way to that near the end. But there's so much there, and it's so many different angles of like where they could potentially take the show this season. I'm very excited to see the show back. At the time of recording this, there is no trailer out. All they did was a date announcement video, so I'll include that in the description down below. But basically, it was just about, but obviously, like, the cast is kind of doing the whole, well, I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it's just like a neat little date announcement video. So it probably will be another week or two before we get a trailer. So And so that brings this month's watch list to an end. Like always, in the comments down below, if there's something that's coming out that maybe I wasn't aware of that you feel like maybe me or someone else will be interested in, don't be afraid to leave it in the comments down below. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Until the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.